concrete pours, we send them to college. Almost all of our children go to college. We want them to be successful individuals in business or in law or in doctors or medicine or some form of being a successful person. How do you feel about the illegal aliens that are here and have been here for like ever, doing our roofing, our ditch digging, and everything else? What's your feel on that?
Two answers. One is my mother would disagree with you that you can be successful in law based on her son. But to your question, what do we do? Listen, as United States Attorney, and I always come back to this experience because I've faced a lot of these issues. We enforce the immigration law. And what I found is the system is broken. Is we have employers that are responsible for determining whether they're hiring a U.S. citizen or not, filling out an I-9 form, and we've taken, the system's broke. We're educating kids from around the world and then saying, we don't want you here, go back to your home country and be successful instead of coming here and helping us with our economy. And so, and then we have the permanently illegal folks that we don't even know who they are. And I faced that up in Marshalltown at Swift as U.S. Attorney, where I found out we had over 600 people. I didn't know who they were. They were all had documents that were fraudulent. And so, you know, first of all, I do not support amnesty. I think 1986 tells us all we need to know. Ronald Reagan regretted that deal he made because we never did get the system fixed. We didn't get border security and the types of things that we need first. But at the same time, you can't deport and find and deport 12 million people. So we have to have some way to get them out of the shadows and to have them start paying taxes. But I do not support amnesty or citizenship for those because fundamentally I believe in the rule of law. The rule of law suggests that you don't get a benefit if you break the law. So that's kind of where I am on, and the problem with commenting about any particular bill that's pending is it changes every day. And I'm not in Washington, D.C., I'm not from Washington, D.C., but I know what my fundamental principles are. That is, let's bring the best and brightest from around the world and have them contribute to our economy. Let's not give amnesty to those that have come here illegally. But at the same time, let's make the thing work. I mean, everybody complains about it, but nobody ever wants to fix it. They just turn it into a political issue for the next election. So let's get a fix that makes sense and is permanent and it reflects the current economy and the future economy. Do you have any thoughts? I mean, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on it?
Non-political. It has to be not just let's all lean this way or let's all lean that way and let's fight about it. Let's come out with a good solution and let's make it work. And start with the border security. Take the kids that were born here and give them some status, and the others are going to have a different status if they came in illegally. However, getting them into the tax system is something we're missing out on big time.
I agree. I think the interesting thing is whether do we need to do it at a comprehensive, or can we find the 3 or 4 things that everybody agrees on and get those done, and then let's roll up our sleeves and really work on the hard issue.
Border security seems to be a no-brainer. That would also take care of a lot of the drug problems that are coming in across the border. So, I mean, as we bring guys back from Afghanistan and from Iraq and places, I mean, you can have a lot of training and administrative things going on the border to help protect that. So, if they can do it over there, they could do it here.
All right, well, yeah, go ahead.
And the question is, you talked about higher education and college. What's your feel for the tuition interest rates that are kind of being tossed around?
Well, I must have read it in the paper today, but just yesterday they passed a bill in the Senate, I believe, where it was they essentially hooked it to the market so that it's not going to be below market or above market. It's going to be whatever the market rate is. And I think that seems like a common sense solution. And I also think it's one of those few times where it was bipartisan. To your point, I mean, can't we get something done here?
That's what he's talking about, immigration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that you were bringing people over and giving them college and giving it to them cheap, and then let them leave and go back to their countries and be successful there. Why do we need to have them come over and get better college fees than our children do? It just has always seemed strange to me that you can't get into college because somebody from another school or from another country is in that position. So I think we need to look at, do we really need to be doing that? I lived around the world, so this is sort of something, the world I live in, and I'm always surprised at some of the decisions we've made with some of this immigration.
Yeah, it certainly, as you sit and look at it now and all its permutations, it doesn't make sense. And we can't find any solution because it ends up being just a political football that everybody passes back and forth.
Are the rules on immigration that are now wrong being enforced? Are immigration laws being enforced?
My experience under the Bush 43 was yes. Now I'm not so sure. I don't know how. I don't know how our border is being policed. Right.
Biggest problem.
Border security. It should be the
Not
first.
being enforced.
Right. Yeah, and this is, if you think about it, it's the same thing with firearms. There's plenty of laws on the books, but a lot of them are ignored in practice. And now we're going to, even though Obamacare is by law supposed to be implemented, the employer mandate is supposed to be implemented in 2014, the president's just decided that we're not going to do it until 2015. And they're doing that to some extent with immigration as well. So we have plenty of laws. The problem with immigration, as compared to the firearms laws, for example, is the immigration system. It's broken. It's legacy system that does not address the future of our country. Because we shouldn't be anti-immigrant. I want to get that out. We shouldn't be. Immigration is important to this country, and doing it right and making sure that it's legal and that we get immigrants that we need for our economy. That's the very foundation of our country. That's what's going to support it into the future. I want to take the best and the brightest from around the world. If they want to be U.S. citizens and contribute, and they want to do it legally, I support that. And right now, we have chain immigration, where once somebody's a citizen, then they can bring in their family, and you end up with not what addresses our needs as a country, but what addresses these family groups.
Shouldn't do away with that.
They're trying. That's one of the prongs of the immigration reform bill.
You should straighten it out that the illegal one-year citizens, when they're here illegally, that they should not be citizens.
Right. The birthright citizenship, is that what you're referring to? Go ahead.
What do you think is going to be, assuming you'll be successful?
Yes, I like that assumption.
And I know you've thought about this, you've had to. What are going to be your biggest challenges?
Being an outsider in Washington, D.C., everybody's I will not be comfortable in the cocktail party crowd of Washington, D.C. I'm one of those, I go to bed early, I get up early to work out, and I'm not going to cocktail parties and drinking white wine and talking about how somebody else in either in my party or the other party is socializing. So I think building the relationships based on trust with other U.S. senators is going to be a challenge because I'm not a go along to get along. I hear what Iowans are telling me, and that is we want something done about these important issues. We want something done about immigration. We want something done to fix this Obamacare problem. We want something done to stimulate our economy. But at the same time, we don't want you to compromise your principles. So my style is not to be out in front of the camera and demagoguing things. I will try to build relationships and work to get things done, but I'll be an outsider. I didn't go to the right prep schools out east. I didn't go to Harvard Law School. I'm a state school grad, I like to say. I went to Ankeny, went to the University of Iowa, and that's fairly pedestrian upbringing. It's probably a lot like you and a lot like your kids. And
The University of Iowa is the best.
I agree. Hopefully we can have a good football program here.
We're great. Countdown.
Every season, I'm an optimist.
Countdown to the first year.
So yeah, I mean that's my biggest challenge, and then I think it's, somebody asked me the question. The tradition in the U.S. Senate is to have a lunch right after you're sworn in, and then they'll walk around and they'll ask you, who do you want to be your mentor? And so Matt, who do you want to be your mentor? And it can't be from your home state, because obviously I was like, well, Senator Grassley seems like a good mentor. He's helped me when I was running for treasurer, and so it's those types of things. And I'm not going to live in Washington, D.C. I'm going to go out as late as possible and get back as early as possible so I can be with my family here in Iowa. So I think those are going to be the biggest challenges. But thank you all for being here.